Hey you guys, it's Peter, and I'm back. Of course I'm back. I'm not going anywhere. Peace. Peekaboo. I see you because I'm YouTube famous now. Available Christmas 2024, the album. Dad. Shimmy, shimmy, F. Players only love you when they're playing. Rock on, gold dust woman. Beast! How y'all doing? How y'all doing today? Hey y'all, it's Amy, and I'm back. Little shout out to Amy Slayton out there. Hey Amy, how you doing? Hey y'all, how you doing? Well, I'm looking for my lip gloss. I don't have any lip gloss up here. I brought my fan, and I brought my camera, and then next, I'm doing a really exciting video, and the video is called, What's in My Toiletry Bag? Never a dull moment in the life of Peter Monn. That's going to be over on my Peter Does Stuff channel. There's some surprises. There's some surprises in my toiletry bag. So, how are you guys doing? We flew back from Miami, Florida last night after a very long trip. We were down there for 10 days. We had a fantastic time. We went to Ultra Music Festival. For those of you that haven't kept up with me, or this is your first video that you've ever watched of mine, I don't know why this would be the very first video of mine that you would ever watch in your entire life. But hey, if this is the first video of mine that you've ever watched, welcome. Welcome aboard. Leave your shoes by the door and come on in. And I don't know, get a glass of water or a cup of coffee or a juice box or, I don't know, glass of KJ. That's Kendall Jackson for those of you that drink out there. The cheap stuff. I don't know. Get whatever, okay? Get your Truly. I don't know. Get your White Claw. I don't drink. I don't imbibe the spirits because I've been sober for 29 years. But, and my coffee is downstairs. I am not prepared for this video at all because let me just tell you, we got in last night. We actually flew it. We usually fly in really late at night, but yesterday we got in at like 5:15. And we were home by like 6:30, something like that, at our house. And I was so exhausted yesterday. I was so tired. We ordered some food, and then we watched RuPaul's Drag Race, and then I was out. I literally slept for like 12, 13, 14 hours last night. I mean, I kind of up and down throughout the night. But, I mean, I slept so much last night. And I woke up today, and I don't know if it's the allergies in Indiana or what, but, like, I am not feeling great today. So I was like, okay, we need to start pumping out these videos because you're back. You were going to make 7 videos today. I don't think that's going to happen. We're going to see. We're going to see how many videos I can pump out today. I have literally made a list on my trip of all of these videos to make. I have like 8 Peter Does Stuff videos. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 drama videos listed to make. I have 2 reality TV videos, but I actually have about 10 because I've got screenshots all over my phone, and 1 Peterisms video. So, I have so many different videos to make, and I have to tell you, some of my drama videos that are coming over here are going to be rather interesting. I'm doing a video about Go Ask Alice because I slightly mentioned the book and the movie Go Ask Alice in a video that I did, like, I don't know, a week or 2 ago. And I got so many comments on it, and people told me things in the comment section that I was not aware of about Go Ask Alice, the book. So I went and did this deep dive. No, I truly did. Now, y'all know I don't do deep dive investigations, but I did. I did a deep dive investigation into the book Go Ask Alice. Don't go Google search it. I'm going to give you all the answers you want to know. You're going to ruin the Christmas surprise. You're going to ruin the magic. If you go and Google it, then you're not going to want to watch my video, and that'll make me really sad. And I also have a video that I'm going to be doing about people that are part of cults that think that the reptilian aliens are running the United States. No, truly they do. It's like huge amounts of people. I'm kind of worried to do that video because I'm like, I don't know if the reptilian aliens will come and then get me. So if one day you wake up and I'm no longer making videos anymore, you'll know it was the reptilian aliens that got me. Or the LDS church, the Mormon church, because they're the ones that were behind Go Ask Alice. So it's one of them, okay? And then there will be a whole true crime, series done about me, and then you guys will get all the true crime you wanted for it. By the way, people keep on asking me, they're like, Peter, when are you going to do the true crime? When I first came out and I said that I was going to do true crime, I said I was going to wait till April to start doing it regularly. So it's April 1st. Is it April Fool's Day today? I never can remember if it's the 2nd. Groundhog's Day is the 2nd of February, right? So It's April Fool's Day. Oh my God. I don't have any good jokes to tell. I mean, what could I say? We're getting divorced. We're not getting divorced. I don't even want to joke about that. I don't believe in joking about things. In fact, the last night that we were in Miami, which was Saturday night, we went to dinner. We stayed at the One Hotel in Miami, which is one of my favorite hotels. If you want to see what our room was like, I did a hotel room tour of both of our I did hotel room tours of both of our hotels that we stayed in. For the first part of our trip, we stayed in the Kimpton Epic in downtown Miami because it was like walking distance to Ultra. It's such a fantastic hotel. I love that hotel. For the second part of our trip, we stayed in South Beach, and we stayed in the One Hotel Miami, which is probably one of my favorite hotels in the entire world. So if you want to see what our room was like, go check it out on my Peter Does Stuff channel. What was I going to say? Oh, speaking of divorce. Yeah, divorce. No, we're not getting divorced. I don't even feel like that's something funny to joke about on April Fool's Day. Do you? I think if you're going to joke... I heard that. Did Alex Murdaugh get like another 40 years or something? Joke's on you, Alex Murdaugh. Anyway, so I was coming down. So we went to dinner the last night. We have a good friend of ours. Well, a couple good friends of ours that live in Miami. But the last 2 nights that we were there, we had dinner with one of our good Judies. And so the last night, I was like, it was like a 3-hour dinner. I was like, I can't do this anymore. So my husband, they were talking and whatever. I said, I'm going to go downstairs. I'm going to go into the room, whatever. So I left the restaurant. The restaurant at the One Hotel, well, one of the restaurants is called Water, W-A-T-R. I know, don't try to figure it out. Anyway, it's real edgy, see, because there's no E. It's called Water because it's by the pool. And you overlook the ocean. So anyway, but, I was like really craving a Beyond Burger because, you know, I'm a vegetarian, and they changed their menu like in the last 2 years. And so now it's all like, what do you call it? Like, the Asian fusion, whatever. I don't know what that is, but they had like all kinds of stuff on the menu, and they did have vegetarian options, but it wasn't stuff that I really wanted. I wasn't really in the mood for asparagus sushi rolls, but that's what I had nonetheless. The vegetarian asparagus sushi rolls is what I had. So anyway, I was like, okay, I gotta go. In the room, I had candy bars. So I was like, I gotta go to the room and get me a candy bar. So I'm standing by the elevator to go down, and all of a sudden I hear, oh my God, Peter Monn. And I'm thinking, oh, finally, after 2 weeks of being in Miami, somebody has seen me that watches my YouTube videos, and I look, and it's this guy that we have been friends with for like 20 years, right? But we haven't seen him in a long time. And I was like, oh my God, how are you? What are you doing here? He goes, what are you and Alex doing here? I go, oh, well, we went to Ultra Music Festival, and then we stayed an extra week, and we're going home tomorrow. And I go, what are you doing here? And he was like, it's my divorce celebration. And I go, you're who? And he goes, I'm getting divorced. And so we were getting in the elevator, all of us together. Well, my husband and our friend, they stayed behind. But anyway, he goes, I'm getting divorced. And I go, oh, I'm sorry. And he just kind of looked at me and goes, no, it's a celebration. I go, congratulations. I don't know what to say in situations like that. That makes me sad, you know. But anyway, so congratulations, or I don't know, congratulations to our friend on his divorce, I guess, you know. I can remember when my parents got divorced, my mom was like one of the, well, I always say my mom, but my parents were the very first people in our neighborhood that ever got divorced. And one of my mom's friends gave her a divorce card, like, congratulations, you know, happy divorce or whatever. She was so put out by it. My mom was like, you don't send somebody a happy divorce card. But I think in 2024, you kind of do, you know, and stuff like that. So anyway, but congratulations. If you're getting divorced today and you're happy about it, congratulations. If you're still married like me and you're proud of it, then congratulations to you too. And happy April Fool's Day. I've never been good at that. Like, when people put out stuff on April Fool's Day, like, I'm kind of, like, slow to the game. Like, I can never really, like, I don't know that it's April Fool's, like, right away. And then I still, like, even after I know, I'm like, is that a joke? Did they really get engaged? Oh, my God, I wonder if his whole, like, divorce celebration was an April Fool's joke. Now I feel so stupid. Oh, well. So, anyway, but we had a great time in Miami. We went to Ultra Music Festival. It was fantastic. If you guys want me to do a whole video about that. The True Crime is coming this month. That's the other thing I had to tell you. I finished so many books and shows. I watched Fellow Travelers. I'm going to be making a whole video about that. I watched 28 Days, the movie. I got caught up on most of my TV shows except for The Bachelor, but I already know what happens on that because I read the spoilers. So, and then I read The Firm by John Grisham, and I read The Exchange because those were the books for Peter's book club. If you don't know, I have a book club. I have 2 book clubs. I have a True Crime book club, and I have Peter's Book Club. And so I read both the books for Peter's Book Club, which were The Firm, and then the sequel that just came out, The Exchange. It wasn't very good. I really, to be honest with you, I loved The Firm. I thought it was fantastic. The Exchange was just, it was boring. I think I gave it 3 stars or something like that. Anyway, John Grisham, you can deal with it. You got enough money. So anyway, then I read the true crime book for True Crime Book Club for March, and that was about the Idaho killings, those college killings. Oh my God, that was so sad. I did not follow that case. I didn't really know that much about it, which is why I wanted to read the book. So now I'm going to watch a documentary, and then that was our book for March. So anyway, I got caught up on those books, and then where I got out of my list and everything. And then yesterday, at the airport, was that yesterday? Yeah, it was yesterday at the airport. I started the book for Peter's Book Club, which is Look for the Lie by Amy Tintera. Oh my God, I saw so many people on this vacation reading that book, and so I started reading it in the airport, and I finished it on the plane. It was so fantastic. It was so good. It was one of the best thrillers I've read in a long time. So Look for the Lie by Amy Tintera, and then you can read it along with me, and I'm going to do a review on my Peter Likes Books channel. One of my many. By the way, I'm starting a new channel, I decided. No, I am. Truly, I am. Today, I'm starting a new channel. April Fools! Oh my God, I got one. That was so corny, wasn't it? See, I'm not very good at it. I'm not. But I do have to tell you, I know this is not an April Fools, okay? The highlight of my trip, okay? Other than Miami is so expensive to eat in. I always every time we go into a restaurant, I'm like, oh God, this is so expensive. But the food is so fantastic in Miami. But other than we saw a lot of our friends when we were down there. And I vlogged most of the trip. I took the last 3 days off from vlogging. And made some videos and sat on the beach, got some sun, and went to Ultra Music Festival and watched a lot of shows and relaxed. Other than all of that, the highlight of my trip was, okay, I have to look into my pictures. So, y'all know that Beyonce dropped an album this weekend. Now, here's the thing, right? I know this is a very unpopular opinion, but like I said, the title of this video is going to be something like, this video could get me in trouble or something like that, right? I don't really care. I'm kind of at a point in my life where I don't really give a fuck. I don't. I'm going to say what I want to say, and if you like it, you like it, and if you don't, then I guess you're going to have to unsubscribe or something, because I have an opinion about something in the world, right? But every time, Taylor Swift or Beyonce drops an album, the whole world stops, okay? And I'm like, okay, so I was like, I saw it, this Cowboy Carter album came out, and I'm like, all these people are saying, I'm like, here's where I get real scared to, all these people are like, oh, Beyonce, she did a country album and all this kind of stuff and blah, blah, blah. And then I saw these, fights online about, this and about that. And then people saying stuff about Beyonce doing country music. And then a bunch of people calling other people racist. And because they didn't like that Beyonce put out a country album, I couldn't even follow all the drama, okay? And then every gay in the entire world was posting pictures of Beyonce in a cowboy hat and chaps. I couldn't keep up with it to save my life, okay? But I will say this, just, so, when you get sober, 2 things happen. One, you get your life back, and the second thing is you kind of fall in love with country music, because country music is really about, drinking and everything you lose as a result of it, but I have loved Darius Rucker for years and years and years, so I didn't understand, Wagon Wheel and all that kind of stuff, so I didn't really understand this whole conversation. I guess, Donna Summer, years and years ago, she wrote a song for Dolly Parton, but I guess Beyonce is the first person that's ever crossed over and did, country music and all that. Is that an unpopular opinion? Am I allowed to have that? So anyway, here's the deal, right? I love Beyonce. I do. I love Beyonce. I've loved Beyonce ever since she and Destiny's Child were on Oprah Winfrey, and they had those, those treadmills in the ground, and they were walking back and forth, and it looked like they were walking on air. See, that's when I fell in love with Beyonce back in the day. Half you children out there that love Beyonce, you weren't even alive, okay? You're like, Oprah who? Now, I know Oprah's been problematic lately, but I used to watch her show back in the day, okay? And I'm telling you right now, I remember they did that Ring the Bell or whatever, and the 3 of them were on there. That was when, she had Kelly Rowland and Michelle and all that kind of stuff. But I watched Beyonce or listened to Beyonce way back in the day when she was part of Destiny's Child. She was an Oprah Winfrey. That was probably 25 years ago, something like that. Half of you children out there that are defending Beyonce, you weren't even around for all that. If you were not around for the treadmills on the stage of the Oprah Winfrey show, go Google it. It's probably out there on the YouTube somewhere. It's probably the most fantastic thing in the entire world. I can remember watching it and thinking to myself, how'd they get them? They're not treadmills, okay? They're these treadmills that are like built into the stage, and then they have wind, like they have fans blowing on them, and so it looks like they're just like walking in place. It's fantastic. I live for it, right? So anyway, I saw these kids fighting. So I'm like, okay, well, listen, I'll give, you know, Beyonce a chance. I was listening to some of these songs. I saw all these people going crazy for Jolene, okay? Now, y'all know I'm a huge Dolly Parton fan. I have loved, and apparently, you know, Dolly Parton did a song with Beyonce and all that kind of stuff and whatever, and she, you know, shouted out Jolene and all this kind of stuff, because that's who Dolly Parton is. She's fantastic, right? So I listened, the first song I listened to in this Cowboy Carter album is the Jolene version. And I'm listening to it sitting on the beach, right? As I'm sitting there scrolling through, and people are like, oh my God, Jolene by Beyonce. I was like, it's okay. I mean, can we just be fucking real for a second? Like, can we just be real for a second, right? First of all, it's not the first cover of Jolene that's ever been done, number one, okay? Number two, I was not super impressed with Beyonce's cover of Jolene, okay? And in all honesty, just to put it out there, I am a huge Dolly Parton fan. Jolene is not even one of my favorite Dolly Parton songs, okay? Jolene, 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 Jolene. It's not even one of my favorite Dolly Parton songs, if you want to know the truth. I mean, that's the truth of the nature all day long, okay? But I did listen to more of the album, and I actually do like her album. I think it's pretty good. So, congratulations to Beyonce. But then, my entire Twitter thread, okay, was all about Beyonce and Gypsy Rose Blanchard leaving this guy, okay, that she said was the dick of the century or something like that. Well, I mean, when you've been in prison 8 years, listen, I've had a lot of friends of mine that have been in prison for long periods of time, okay? And, no, true story, I have. And listen, the first thing they want when they get out of prison, most of them, okay, if you're strictly dickly, most of them want a good dick, you know what I'm saying? So, do I think... Does it surprise me? Because, you know, she came out and she said it was like, he had the, you know what I'm saying, okay? Gypsy Rose Blanchard, who, now people are, she started some, I guess it was a joke. Somebody said she started on OnlyFans. People are going to say this is the intro. This is not the intro. This is me telling the tea on the world, okay? People are saying that Gypsy Rose Blanchard started on OnlyFans, and somebody else said she didn't start on OnlyFans, and that it was actually a fake, and somebody had already had that OnlyFans, and they just changed her name to Gypsy Rose Blanchard, and they were charging people $50 to see nudes of Gypsy Rose Blanchard. Who wants to see nudes of Gypsy Rose Blanchard? She killed her mother, okay? You know, and I know that that's a real unpopular opinion, and people are like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Okay. She was 23 years old and she killed her mother, okay? I don't need to see nudes of Gypsy Rose Blanchard. And I'm gay, and quite frankly, I don't really, even if I was straight, I don't think I'd want to see, you know, nudes of Gypsy Rose Blanchard. There's not a lot of nudes of most people that I want to see, if you want to know the truth. I don't give a shit who they are, okay? But I thought that was so weird. And then all these people are like, oh, and they were putting all these memes and gifs about how she gets so excited about the dick of the century, or whatever she said, it was the hottest dick in the world, that husband of hers or whatever. Listen, okay? Girl, you were dickmatized or something. I don't know. I don't know what is going on. But that guy in that interview where he was talking about how all those women were reaching out to her and him and their DMs. You think they're going to be reaching out now that she's not with Gypsy Rose Blanchard? No. No, he's not. Not at all. No, he's going to be, I don't know what he's going to be doing now, but listen, they're getting divorced, okay? And I'm sitting there looking at this, I'm like, do we not have more interesting things in the world to talk about than Gypsy Rose Blanchard and the fact that Beyonce dropped a Cowboy Carter album, a country music album? I'm like, I mean, I kind of, to be honest with you, I kind of live for it, but it's like, I have to be honest with you, like, I grew up in the era of Madonna, okay? Madonna reinvented herself literally about every 5 minutes, okay? So when I see the entire world go crazy over a Beyonce album that she's doing country music, and everybody's like, she's the first person to, I'm like, can we pull it together just a little bit? It's Beyonce, okay? I don't even think Beyonce is getting as excited as the Beyonce fans, okay? I think it's great. Congratulations. I like her album, but it's just okay. Like, there are greater Beyonce albums. Let's just be for real, okay? Not every album that every one of your favorite artists, you know, is going to release, it's going to be fantastic, okay? I love Stevie Nicks. There are a lot of Stevie Nicks songs that when it comes on, I'm like, next. Can't stand that song. Leather and Lace, not one of my favorite songs, okay? Not one of my favorite songs. So I'm just being honest with you, okay? We don't have to lose our minds every time one of our favorite artists drops an album, okay? And I listened to a couple tracks on that album, and some of them were good. Some of them were catchy. Some of them were just okay. I don't really understand. And then everybody's pulling out their cowboy hats and their cowboy boots and things like that, and they want to be like Beyonce. I'm so confused by it. So I am obsessed, honestly, if you want to know the truth. Like, if there was one celebrity in the world that I could meet, it would be Thumbelina the Squirrel. I am like so obsessed with Thumbelina the Squirrel. And listen, y'all can fact check this shit if you want to, okay? Back in the day, I was obsessed, and now I can't even remember his name. What was his name? That little chihuahua, Pancho, the chihuahua that passed away right after our dog, Pee-Pee the flying chihuahua passed away. Then Pancho, the chihuahua, Panchino, his dad called him. I loved him so much, and I'm obsessed. If you follow my Instagram, you know I'm obsessed with like rescue animals and stuff like that. So Thumbelina is a squirrel that was rescued, okay? And she was rescued because her mom was pregnant, and she, where her nest was in a construction site, and so she crawled in this guy's window while the whole story is on her Instagram. She crawled in this guy's window while he was asleep, or while he was at work, and she had the 2 babies, and then she covered it up with twigs and stuff, and he came home. The mom went away. She came back a couple times, but then she wouldn't come back. The Thumbelina, I think it was her sister or her brother, passed away. She didn't make it, but Thumbelina did. And this guy came home, and there were the 2 little babies that the mom had given birth to under the pillow. The whole story is so sweet. And so Thumbelina has a lot of medical problems. And she hopefully they want her to be able to live in the wild someday, but they think that she probably won't be able to. And I love Thumbelina so much. She's obsessed with avocados. Oh my God, I love avocados. Jimmy and Thumbelina have so much. We have so much in common. I love you, Thumbelina. And I always tell little Boo Radley, I'm like, Boo Radley, he don't know, you know. And I tell him, I say, Boo Radley, Thumbelina wanted me to tell you hi. He don't know. But guess what? Oh my God, now I get to tell him that for real Thumbelina said hi. Because let me tell you, the highlight of my Miami trip, I know I just pissed off everybody with all that Beyonce stuff. It is what it is. I mean, you know, it's like, y'all think that Taylor Swift shit's gold. She don't. Her shit stinks too. Like, let's just be for real, okay? You think Travis Kelce don't walk by the bathroom and be like, girl, Taylor, come on now, okay? You shut the bathroom down. Y'all think she shit's gold. You think Beyonce shit's gold, okay? They don't. They're real people just like you and I, okay? Let's just get over it. The fandom of this stuff is unbelievable to me, you know? So anyway, I put this tweet out, and then I put it over my Instagram too, and it says, I am less interested in Beyonce's new album and the separation of that gypsy girl, and more interested in the life of Thumbelina the Squirrel. She's where it's at. And can I just tell you, Miss Thumbelina the Squirrel's mom reached out to me in DMs, and she sent me some of the kindest messages, and we had kind of a little bit back and forth and whatever, and I even said to her, I said, oh, we always tell our little dog Boo, you know, that Thumbelina says hi, and she goes, oh, give him extra hugs and treats and tell him Thumbelina said hi. I was like, oh my God, I gotta tell Boo Rally that Thumbelina really said hi. That made the highlight of my trip. You know, I'm gonna be honest with you, I think the older you get less impressed with like big celebrity. Like when I was younger, I was like real all into all that kind of stuff. You know, and honestly, even when I started my drama channel, I was in all, I used to say, oh my God, if I faint a million faints if I, you know, met Todrick Hall or something. I would, listen, Todrick Hall, you have like, that's a whole other video, okay? But Todrick Hall, he is a mess of trouble, okay? But no, listen, I don't faint a million faints over these celebrities anymore. I mean, true story, even if I saw like Stevie Nicks, I'd be like, oh my God, Stevie, how are you? Although I will tell you, when I was in Miami, I was looking for those Miami housewives like nobody's business. I mean, everywhere I was like this. Now, I probably would faint a million faints if I, you know, walked into Marisol or something like that. But no, true story, listen, okay, the older you get, you kind of get less impressed with the celebrity and stuff like that. And so, I'm not trying to piss on anybody's parade about Beyonce or Gypsy Rose Blanchard getting divorced and all that kind of stuff, but I don't care. I am more impressed with the life of a rescue squirrel who has made it through she had a full hysterectomy, and she is doing fantastic, and she gets so excited about a little piece of avocado, and she is living and she is thriving. No, that's a true story. Go read her story on her Instagram. She's had a lot of medical issues, and, you know, she has alopecia on her stomach and things like that, and she can't really cling to things very well, so that's one of the reasons why she couldn't live in the wild. I love the fact that this couple took her in, and they get so excited about hiding blueberries and avocados and Easter eggs for this little squirrel. So when we think that the kindness of our hearts, okay, towards anybody out there doesn't change a million hearts, it does. And I have to tell you, watching Thumbelina the squirrel and these two people care for her has really, really, really gotten me through some tough times. So that was the highlight of my trip. Okay. Now, a lot of people have asked me, why didn't you and Alex do a couples Q&A on vacation? Well, because we didn't. Because we're getting divorced is why. No, that's April Fool's Day. But anyway, it was funny because we were on the plane yesterday, and Alex goes, we didn't do a couples Q&A. And he goes, I asked you twice on the trip. I didn't really feel like it, to be honest with you. I just was like, I really wanted to relax a lot. And to do the couples Q&A, you know, like, we have to, like, come back from the lighting has to be good. We have to, like, come back from the pool or the beach early one day. And I just was like, you know what? I just want to spend time with my husband, just enjoy time with my husband. So he said, well, I feel bad that we always do one on vacation. I go, listen, we got April, we got May. We're going on vacation again in June. We can do one in June, and between them, we can do one while we're at home, and we can have a little Boo Radley in it. And he goes, oh, I like that. So we're going to do one. We're going to do a couples Q&A coming up here in the next week. Or not the next week. The next couple weeks, we're going to do one. But I did put this Q&A up for myself, because I thought I was going to have this up for Sunday when I came back, but I didn't film it. And what I put was, you can ask me any question you want, but you can only ask me one question. Now, it doesn't surprise some of me. It doesn't surprise me that some of you all failed the SATs. Okay, you failed them miserably. You know you did. Okay, now I failed the SATs miserably too, but it wasn't because I forgot to put my name on it. I think some of y'all forgot to put your name on the SATs. True story. You probably didn't put your name on the test for today, for drama class. Okay, because I said you're allowed to ask one question. Okay, some of you, and I said it like in bold print. I said you get one question to ask me. Okay, and I said something about having the lasso of truth around me, and I have to answer it 100% honestly and all that kind of stuff, right? And some of you wanted to ask 3 and 4 questions. You get one question. One question is all you get. So I actually got some really interesting questions. Now, I read like probably the first 20 questions, and then I was like, no, I'm going to wait till I get on video. So from the questions that I read, you know, this is called clacking, and I talked about it in a video that I did the other day. Now, you know they do this at gay bars, like they do it at the Palace, you know, in Miami, but you're not supposed to do it at music festivals. Like, that's a big no-no. Like, at music festivals, you're not supposed to clack your fans. So we won't do that. But anyway, the title of this video is, this video might get me in some trouble. Because it might. Because there's some questions on here. Actually, you guys asked me really good questions. I was kind of surprised. So, let's get into them. A lot of the questions from the first 20 that I read had kind of a theme to them. Okay. So, let's get into these questions. Well, of course, you know, my book club partner, Mel, she always wants to try to get in and be cute and funny. She put Endless Night. It's the worst book that we ever read. Okay. So, that was her comment. Where are my other comments in here that I put? Okay, so somebody said, get spicy. What's your biggest turn on about Alex? My biggest turn on about Alex? Well, 2 things, okay? Number 1 is that my husband has a fantastic ass. Now, I can say that because Gypsy Rose Blanchard, with that ex-husband of hers that she's divorcing, she said he was the dick of the century, okay? But my husband has the ass of the century. No, he truly does. And just to watch him walk across the room in some underwear, I love it. I like a little bit of cover-up because it kind of leaves some mystery, even though we've been together 15 years, so I know what's underneath there. But he looks so good walking across the room. The second thing that's a big turn-on is that when we're standing across from each other, like in a room, like at, you know, dinner, like an event or whatever, my husband, he has this real slow wink that he does. I can't wink. I can't wink to save my life. But my husband has this real slow wink, and every time, like, he'll, like, be looking at me, and, like, I'll be, like, talking to somebody, and, like, I'll look, and he'll be, like, looking at me, and he'll just, like, wink real slow, and I'm like, oh, God. Okay, so those are the things that are spicy me about my husband. Where are we at on time? Oh, this is going to stop in about a minute. Hold on a second. Okay, I'm back. I had to duck for that one. Oh, the tripods. Now, this week I'm going to have to film inside because they were doing the electrical system or something. I don't know. Electric company. Now they're relaying cable. So they're just trying to ruin my career on YouTube. Okay. Next question. Well, I mean, like, some of these questions are not, like, real spicy. So let's get into some of these questions. A favorite drama channel. Oh, that's a good one. You know, I don't watch drama videos as much as I used to. Back in the day, we used to all cover kind of the same things, you know? And so I would watch, you know, Dustin Daly, Nick Snyder, Paige Christie, Rich Lux. Those were the people that were kind of around back in the day. Here for the Tea, I watched a lot. You know, those were the people that I consistently watched. I would say probably 2 years ago, I kind of stopped consistently watching drama videos. The truth is, if y'all want to know the truth, I am not super interested in watching 5 videos about the same topic. And I never watch the videos typically unless it's like I have to cover something they say. Like Adam McIntyre, I watch a lot of his videos because I'll cover things that he's said, right? And I like Adam's videos too. And so I'll, you know, watch some of his videos. Dustin's videos I watch a lot of. Other than that, I don't really watch a lot of drama videos anymore, you know? Like, it's interesting, like, okay, with Paige Christie, like with Paige's videos, if Paige does a video about something that I've already covered, or if Dustin does a video, or Adam, like if they cover it like after I do, I typically don't watch the video. Because once I'm done filming it and whatever, I'm just kind of like, unless it's like an ongoing story that I feel like I need to know more about, I'm just kind of done. Like I turn off the camera. I know people think that I'm like ate up and I'm like on Twitter or whatever. I'm done. I'm done. Like, in fact, I even thought about this month. Like, I put out Home Sweet Home, and then I put out the Christmas countdown, the Halloween countdown, and I thought, you know what, I don't think I'm going to post nothing the whole month of April on Twitter. I'm so over, Twitter is just, it just brings me down. There's so much, it's sad, and it's just toxic, and whatever, you know? So anyway, but like with Paige is a good example, because Paige will do videos of things that like, I never in a million years would have thought about covering, right? And so I'll watch that video. Dustin has recently been doing videos about things that I would never, you know, like the Richard Simmons video I thought was brilliant. And so, like, those are videos that, like, I like to watch. But I don't typically like to watch videos that are, like, topics that I've already covered, because I've already shared my opinion, and, you know, unless I feel like it's an ongoing story and I want to hear what other people's opinions are, I'm not really that interested in it, if you want to know the truth. Years ago, I used to watch, like, every video that was put out about it, because, you know, if Jeffree Star did something, it was going to carry over into 3 and 4 videos. That's just not the case with how it is today. And so once I've done filming my video, I'm kind of, like, moved on from the story, and I'm kind of, like, done with it, you know what I mean? I don't know that I necessarily have, like, a favorite drama channel. I'll watch people every once in a while. I'll be like, oh, that's cute. I like that you said that, and things like that, you know? But I don't know that I necessarily have, like, a favorite drama channel, you know? Stuff like that. Def Noodles, is he still around? Somebody asked me, they're like, could you do a whole video about Def Noodles? I haven't looked into Def Noodles in months. I think the last time I looked into him was probably like a month after he started his new channel. And then what I noticed was, like, he was posting, he had, like, started this new channel, whatever. Def Noodles, Dennis, I wish you all the best in the world. I think you're very confused about your career, and you screwed the pooch yourself. So I don't really know what to tell you. I'd start something, if I were Def Noodles, I would start something completely different, completely new. I mean, he has the skill set. He obviously was able to do that. I think actually true crime would be fantastic for Def Noodles. I think if he did true crime, I think with his wit and his personality, I think he needs to start a completely different genre of doing videos. But that's just my 2 cents about that. So anyway, but I don't really have a favorite today. How is the food at the Versace Mansion? I personally didn't care for it. Okay, so we went to the Versace Mansion. Alex really wanted to go there to eat. I have to tell you, it is not as incredible inside as I thought it would be. Where you eat dinner is by the pool and then inside. Now, that is pretty spectacular. It's pretty beautiful. But the house itself is not what I thought it would be. First of all, it's packed. I mean, we had reservations at 8, and I think 50 other couples had reservations at 8. We had to wait like 30 to 40 minutes to get seated and whatever. which is fine because you can like walk around the house and see stuff. It's beautiful inside. To think that it's right off of like Ocean Drive, you know, and that like, I mean, that was his residence, and then he walked out every day and got coffee and stuff like that. I mean, it's pretty incredible, you know. I thought the food was pretty good. I think I got a caprese salad, which was just okay. I mean, I feel like a caprese salad is a caprese salad. We got this pasta that's made like in this cheese bowl, and they like mix it up at the table. It was probably, honest to God, one of the best pastas I've ever had in my entire life. Other than that, we didn't get dessert. Other than that, it was just fine. It was okay. Yeah. Alex said he thought the food was so fantastic. I was like, would you go back? And he was like, oh, definitely. I don't think I would go back. It's extremely expensive. And part of what you're paying for is the experience of going to the Versace mansion. I thought it was cool to be there. I thought it was cool to see. It's very much, okay, it's very much like a lot of young girls wanting to take Instagram pictures by the pool. And so to do that, you have to get a table there. So they get a table, and then like, I think there's like a minimum of what you have to spend. And so they don't get any food. They just like, 4 girls will split a bottle of champagne, and then the whole time they're up taking pictures by the pool. And it's very annoying. It's a lot of that. It's a lot of that is what it is. So, I don't know. I wouldn't go back personally, but it was cool to see. It was very cool to see. We walked by it a million times. We used to stay right next door to it. Let's see. How did you and Alex learn to communicate after being so close to divorce? Well, it wasn't easy at all. I feel like both of us were like he would talk and I wouldn't really listen because I'd be having the thing that I wanted to say in my head in response to whatever I thought he was going to say, and he was doing the same thing. And so it was a lot of practice. I mean, this is one of the reasons why we talk about marriage counseling so much, is because it didn't just save our marriage, it saved our lives. And it really like inspired this passion between us to want to talk to each other and to want to listen to each other. I mean, I think the biggest key to communication is that you really have to want to know what the other person is saying. You really have to want to listen to the other person. It's not just, you don't just communicate to save the marriage. It's, I really want to listen to you. I really want to hear what you have to say, right? When you're at the point where you just don't really care anymore, I mean, we were so close to divorce. I mean, people ask all the time, they're like, what was the reason? Like, it was one reason. It wasn't one reason. It was multiples of reasons, you know? I had lost myself. I didn't know who I was anymore. He had lost himself. He didn't know who he was anymore. We didn't know who we were together. We didn't have a voice in this relationship. We didn't really care anymore, you know? And so it was going in, and it was redefining roles in our relationship, redefining communication, redefining our love for each other. You know, we read a lot of books that really, really helped us in communicating and getting to know each other, learning about the 12 points of intimacy. You know, I think I went into therapy thinking there's only one point of intimacy, and that's physical intimacy, when I learned about, you know, spiritual intimacy and family intimacy and recreational intimacy and financial intimacy, and it's sharing all those pieces of your life with the other, your partner, your person, and then, you know, locking it down and all of that kind of stuff. I think it's really, really easy. I think we were at the point also where it was, I saw somebody put this up recently, like they said something about it, and I'm just going to speak to it. You know, a lot of people are like, oh, if you get divorced and you get to that point, then they're, you know, that they're in an open marriage or whatever. We are not in an open marriage. We're very much in a traditional marriage where it's just us, we're monogamous. That's not something that I think you find often in long-term relationships within the gay community. I think you do find some, but not many. And I also, to be honest with you, I don't think you find it often in the heterosexual community either. I think people might be in somewhat open. I mean, I have a lot of people that I know that are heterosexual that it's just kind of turn a blind eye with whoever the partner is, husband or wife. And I think, you know, the gay community gets a bad rap for that. I was not somebody, and it was never broached, the subject was never brought up in therapy, but I went into therapy knowing that if that was going to be the end result, then I didn't want to be in an open relationship. Alex didn't want to be in an open relationship, and so it worked, I think, for both of us, because we both were seeking monogamy. I think that if I was in a relationship with somebody that really wanted to be in an open relationship, I don't think we would still be together. That was like one of the main things that was really, really important. Like, we had to make sure that we were willing to work on these areas of intimacy to trust each other. I mean, I think trust was such an intimate part of, or such an important part of working on these periods of intimacy, that if you're going to trust somebody, you're going to trust them implicitly. You either trust them or you don't trust them, you know? And I think that if you can't trust the person that you're with in a relationship, with your money, with your feelings, with your emotions, whatever, then I don't know why you're with that person. I also think that, especially at 15 years, you know, I'm not talking about maybe at 6 months or a year, I'm talking like at 15 years. I think also that it was like, okay, well, somebody very close to me had shared with me that I had known that they were going to get divorced early in their marriage. And they had sat down together at about a year of being separated and said, we're either going to go our separate ways or we're going to make it work. And they sat down over a drink in a bar and cheersed to them making it together. And they are still together today. And they have one of the most fantastic marriages that I've ever seen. That was very much our sentiment of going into it. We decided that we were going to give it a year and give it everything that we had. And at the end of the year, if it was no better than it had been before, or if we didn't think that we could stay in it, then we were going to go our separate ways. But we were going to give it everything that we could for a year. We gave it everything we could, and our relationship was literally 100 times better. And I think it's sentiment to not only our work, but the therapists that we worked with as well, that we're still here to get today. Don't ever give up. Don't ever give up, you know? It was funny because we met with a couple that we're friends with. They were down in Miami taking their daughters on a cruise for spring break, and we had dinner with them one night. And I was telling them, I remember their wedding was one of the very first weddings we ever went to. And his dad at the wedding said, always invest in marriage counseling, because marriage counseling is a lot cheaper than divorce. And it's not just about that. I think it's about the times that you spend together and all that kind of stuff. And of course, there's really unhealthy situations that you shouldn't stay in. That was not our situation. Our situation was that we had both kind of given up. And I'm really grateful that today we're still here together. I'm extremely, extremely proud of it, and extremely grateful, as is my husband. So, yeah. Okay, did you watch RuPaul's interview on Call Her Daddy podcast? Thoughts? I did not. My husband did. He said it was fantastic, so I am going to listen to it. Okay, so I got a couple of these marry, fuck, kill questions. Okay, well, first of all, I'm not into violence whatsoever, so I don't know about answering those. But it's interesting the people that they add. It's always the same people. It's like Jeffree, Manny, James, Colleen Ballinger, blah, 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 whatever. Yeah, I mean, I got it so many times, you guys. I could literally just do a whole video about marry, fuck, kill. But I don't believe in violence. So, and I know it's just a game. But I don't know how to answer that question. Okay, wait a second. Did Gabby Hanna say anything about Colleen Ballinger when you spoke to her on the phone? No, she did not. Not that I remember. Did she? I mean, that phone call with... Let me think about this. That phone call with Gabby Hanna. Okay, so this is a conversation. Gabby Hanna reached out to me to want to talk about these brushes. She had done a sponsorship of these brushes. She was getting a lot of backlash about it. She reached out to me, as she did several other drama channels. I know she talked to Sebastian Williams because she said that to me on the phone, and some other people. The phone call that we talked about was like an hour and a half long. Today, did I say something in the past that she talked about Colleen Ballinger? If she did, it was brief. She mostly talked about the brushes and how scared she was that it was going to be the end of her career. I told her, I said, girl, don't worry. Next week, there's going to be another drama. Just come out and address it, honestly, about these brushes. I don't even really remember what the drama was about with the brushes. It was something like you buy the brushes and you don't pay shipping and handling, or you pay shipping and handling, you don't pay for the brushes. I don't remember what it was. But anyway, she got called out for it. And then turned around and did like the sponsorship on this like brush that she was like this machine for your face. And I was like, girl, you obviously wasted an hour and a half of my time. I've had so many conversations with, for me to talk to an influencer today would have to be like a funny ha-ha conversation. Like, I'm not giving out free advice anymore. You can pay me for my time. That's literally how I feel. Because they waste a bunch of my time, and they just love to hear themselves talk, and then they don't take any advice whatsoever. And I don't really care. I think like the Raw Beauty Kristi thing, because so many people sided with Raw Beauty Kristi, they thought that like and maybe what I said came across that way, that like I was demanding a response from Raw Beauty Kristi. I wasn't demanding a response from Raw Beauty Kristi at all. Like, I want to make that very, very clear. And I still, to some degree, hold out hope for Kristi. I don't really, to be honest with you, her never addressing it makes me think worse of her than to begin with. Like, if she had just come out and been like, yeah, I follow James Charles, like, it's, you know, I didn't realize I did, and here's the reasons why, or whatever, like, it really would have been, it's kind of now her getting in videos and talking about very similar situations and kind of not being willing to talk about it is really kind of an FU to her audience, not to me, to her audience that has asked her to address it. It's like, girl, at this point, it wouldn't even really be that big of a deal if you came in and talked about it. Just throw it up in 2 minutes of a video while you're talking about all these other people that you think are problematic and be like, yeah, and I follow James Charles and he's really problematic and I wish I hadn't and I effed up and, you know, I never addressed it and I didn't really know how and here's me addressing it, you know? It would be, it's nothing. But for her not to is almost kind of like, F you, you know? And for me, but I still hold out hope for Kristi. I don't demand any of these people to talk about anything. I'll make that clear, okay? I am literally just a person sitting on one side of the camera sharing my opinion about somebody. If they don't want to share, if they don't want to address their issues, they don't have to address their issues at all. I get it, right? Don't address it. That's fine. You know, don't waste my time, though, okay? As a person in the real world, don't call me up and say, to many of these people, not just Kristi, I need your advice because you know what you're doing, because you cover this stuff. And I want to hear what you have to say because I don't know what to do, which implies what you say, I will probably heed and listen to. Well, they never do. None of them. None of them. They never do. So don't call me. You want to call me, you can write me a check first before that conversation because listen, Peter Monn ain't giving advice for free anymore. And if I am, then I will do it in a video form or you can pay me for my time. That's truly how I feel. I'll never forget watching Kel on Earth with Kelly Catrone, and all these people were calling her for advice on how to do this PR thing, how to do this fashion show, and she finally hung up the phone one time, and she looked at all of her assistants sitting around the table, and she goes, we're not giving out any more free advice. No more. Somebody wants advice from me, they can pay me for my expertise. I've covered this shit for 7 years. Somebody wants my advice on something, they can pay me for it, or they can actually listen to what I have to say. Don't waste my time. And that's something that my dad said to me years ago. You know, I called him up for some advice, and he goes, "Are you just wanting to complain?" Or this was like 10 years ago. He's like, "Are you just wanting to complain, or do you really want to waste my, or do you really want my advice? Because don't waste my time." That's how I feel about it, and I don't feel like that's arrogant. I don't feel like that's entitled. I feel like that's like that would be the first thing I would say to somebody on the phone. Are you really going to listen to what I have to say? Because if not, we don't need to have this conversation. Just keep on doing you. I don't hate you. I don't hold it against you. Just keep on doing you. You make your best decisions, and I'll report on it. Okay, but I'm not going to have an hour-and-a-half conversation. That conversation with Gabby Hanna, at least the conversation with Raw Beauty Kristi, I mean, we exchanged some niceties. I have never had a more self-centered conversation than I had with Gabby Hanna on the phone talking about herself at length. And, I mean, it was insanity. That conversation on the phone was insanity. And I wish Gabby Hanna all the best. I really do, in the world today. So, woo! If you had just one choice, if you had the choice of just one Bravo show to be on, what would it be? Oh, Real Housewives of Atlanta, hands down. When do you feel the most grateful? I feel the most grateful late at night, just kind of looking up at the stars and being silent. And I just kind of go through everything in my life and everything from that day. That's typically the time that I feel the most grateful. If you weren't a YouTuber, what would your job be? I would write cozy mystery series. Does Linda ever listen? She don't. She don't at all. Which singer would you go on act with on tour with as an opening act? As if anybody's asking me. Come on now, there are no stupid questions, but that is a stupid question. I think y'all know I would go on Stevie Nicks, absolutely. It's not a stupid question, I liked it. But you did ask 2 questions. The other one I'm not going to answer. But it was, what's your favorite thing about yourself? But since you asked 2 questions, you only get to answer 1. Okay, do you miss driving? I really don't miss driving. I don't. But there's a lot of therapeutic work behind that on probably reasons why. And I also think that it was absolutely 100% the right decision to make. And so, no, I don't miss it. It's actually, in the last, I would say 10 years of my life, it's probably the one thought through decision with purpose that I made that I don't ever question, that I don't ever think twice about, that I think 100% was the right decision to make. 100%. No, I don't miss it at all. Okay, people are asking me, what do I think about America's response to Kate Middleton's situation? I took yours in good fun. I appreciate you saying you took it in good fun. I will tell you, I took down the Kate Middleton video. I was asked by several people if I would take it down now that she's come out. I feel horrible about what's come out about Kate Middleton and her medical situations. That video at that time that I did, and I'll just speak to my response to it, I don't think we really understand in the United States the love for the royal family. I think the best equation that we have is like the first family to the royal family, and it's not, because there's tons of history with the royal family, right? So I don't think in the United States we really truly understand it. I will say, I think that, and I understand why she didn't come out and they didn't come out and address it. I don't really understand the faking of the pictures and all that stuff that happened and trying to do all that kind of stuff. I think that led to more. I think it would have been better if they would have just come out and said, at this time, we're not going, and just left it at that. We're not going to address anything. She will come out and address it, and the royal family will come out and address it when we're ready. I think all this stuff that they did around it caused all this speculation. I don't think anybody meant any harm to Kate Middleton. Honestly, I know I didn't, right? I think it was all the stuff that was going on in the pictures and are these pictures real? And is this AI? And is this an actress? And it was like, why did you go to these lengths, And I will say, it's not like they haven't had people in similar situations come out with these situations before. I mean, King Charles had just come out with a similar situation like this and addressed it. So I don't really understand all of the stuff that went on around it, behind it. But I felt it was right to take down the video because my video was done in a very joking way without knowing what was going to happen. So I did take down the video. I just wanted to make that clear. So just for the people out there because I got DMs and comments about it. I wouldn't say tons, but enough. And I will say that it was by people that I respect that asked me, that have watched my vlog and things for a long time that were like, it was one person actually that had said something to me on my vlog. And I thought, this is the right thing to do. I was already thinking about it. And when she said it, I was like, you know what? This is somebody that's watching for a long time. I really respect their opinion. They've had my back. This is the right thing to do. And so I took the video down. Let's see. Thoughts on Ozempic? Have you considered taking it? Okay, interesting question. So I don't really care if anybody's on Ozempic or what they do, okay? I know people want to get all up in arms about this and say, well, it's for this and it's for that and blah, 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 blah. Okay, there are a lot of drugs that are initially made for one thing and are found to be for something else, and that are then used and known for those things. So when people are like, well, this is a diabetes drug and whatever, it is that's what it was, Majoran and Ozempic and things like that originally. I do know several people that are on it. I don't really care what people do. To be honest with you, I don't have a polarizing view about Ozempic. I don't speculate if people are on it. I think that's a personal choice that somebody has to make. I have struggled with my weight for, and I will say this, there's a lot of research studies, and I have looked into it and read a lot, and so I do know a lot about Ozempic, okay? There are a lot of studies that are being shown that it is reducing cravings for alcohol and drugs, and that it is being used in some places as a harm reduction drug, and that it might be able to be used for that in the future, which I think that's fantastic. Somebody asked me, they said, what would you think tomorrow if there was a drug that completely took away addiction, and would you think that that was a easy way? I will tell you what I think is that for me as a person that works a 12-step program, it wouldn't take away from me and all the work that I've done in a 12-step program. What it would do, and we see this with maintenance drugs, which I'm supportive of maintenance drugs, what we would see is we would see less deaths, okay? We would see, it wouldn't necessarily take away the internal things that people have, resentment and harm they've caused, and on and on and on, and things like that, and all the feelings and emotions inside that come as a result of addiction. But we would be losing less people to addiction. And I'm like, let's sign up for that any day of the week. Okay. I don't want one more addict or alcoholic to die out there. I think being on Ozempic is a really personal choice. I am not on Ozempic. I did talk to my physician about it, and so I will tell you about how that conversation went. So for many of you that know, that watch my weight loss journey and things like that, I've really struggled with my weight. I've lost 60 pounds in the last 2 years. The first part of it was because after the accident, I really just wasn't eating at all, and I lost like 30 pounds. Then I had pancreatitis almost exactly a year ago, and I lost another 30 pounds because they changed my medicine, my epilepsy medicine, from Depakote to Keppra. And when they changed the medication, I lost a lot of weight after that. Also, from having pancreatitis, I lost a lot of weight. So it wasn't like I had to work hard to lose this weight. It just was from other, issues. I said in a video the other day, natural issues. Well, I mean, pancreatitis, and I mean, whatever way it was, I wasn't working out and trying to eat healthy to lose weight. I think that's what somebody was implying. But anyway, I still lost the weight. So my doctors have really wanted me to be under 200 pounds. They wanted me to be at least about 190. And I have been plateaued. And I'm on this weight loss journey that I'm doing on my Peter Does Stuff channel and things like that. So the last time that I went to my primary care physician, which I think was like a month and a half ago, I brought it up to him, and he said, you are actually a really good candidate for it. And he listed the 3, put them on a piece of paper. I think Ozempic was the first one, but he put the long-term version of it, and then Majoran, and then those were the 2 that you take like a shot once a week. And then there was one where you take a shot every day. And he said, a lot of people are doing that one, but I would recommend for you the one once a week. And he said, a lot of people are doing it through aesthetics departments. They're getting it through cheaper. I know Weight Watchers is offering it now, the glucose or whatever it's called. I don't really know the names of all that kind of stuff. But what he said was, you would be a really good candidate for it. He said, because for you to he goes, you don't really lose it until like the 2nd or the 3rd month. People think you get on it and you lose it right away, but that's not how it happens. He goes, you kind of have to up the doses over time. He explained to me the whole process. He said, the one thing I would say to you is, he said, research is showing that people that are getting off, just like any other diet that they do, that people that are getting off Ozempic or Majoran or whatever, as soon as they get off of it, they're gaining their weight back because they're not making lifestyle changes. He said, if you're going to do it, you have to make lifestyle changes. You have to be exercising. You have to be eating healthier while you're on it, or it's not going to matter when you get off of it. He goes, we're starting to see research studies show that people are going to have to be on it for the rest of their life. When we talked about the prices of it, he said he would want me to go through him. Since I'm not pre-diabetic, I would have to pay out of pocket, and it would be upwards of $1,400 to $1,800 a month, okay? I said, let me wait till August or September, and let me see if I can lose the weight naturally. I told him about the weight loss journey that I'm doing. I said, if I'm going to have to do lifestyle changes anyway, I would rather do them myself without, another aid and whatever. He's like, that's totally fine. You never have to do it if you don't want to do it. He goes, you're just a good candidate for it. He said, it's really not great for people that are, let's say, 300 or 400 pounds overweight. And he said, and it's really not great for people that are wanting to lose 5 or 10 pounds. He's like, you're somebody that is really struggling losing weight. And so you've plateaued out. You're somebody that's like, a good candidate for it. He goes, but I'm not going to push you on it at all. So I decided not to do it. In August or September, I might revisit it. I don't know that I think it's for me. I've done so many different fad things, and I've gained the weight right back that I don't know that I think it's something that I will ever do in my life. But I don't judge anybody for it. It's a personal choice, I think. I think it's getting such a bad rap that celebrities and people in the public eye that are on it, instead of being able to share their authentic stories about it and being able to share the ups and downs and how difficult it is, I think that there's this mystique that you take a shot and you lose weight like that, right? They don't talk about the lifestyle changes. They don't talk about the eating healthy. I think if people weren't being put down so much for being on the Ozempic or the Majoran or whatever, we might be hearing more authentic stories about the difficulties of being on it. I know people that have been on it for 6 to 8 months and lost like 2 pounds. So it's not this magic cure. I think we would be hearing more of those authentic stories if people weren't so afraid to share those stories because of the bad rep that it's getting online. I can tell you that if I ever make that decision, I will 100% share about it online. But today, that's not the choice that I'm making. But that's the personal choice, because I want to, if I'm going to have to do the lifestyle changes and get active and lose, and eat healthier anyway, I might as well do that on my own. You know what I mean? So, so yeah, that's how I feel about it. This is going to stop in just a second. Hold on. I turned the camera off instead of just restarting the record button. Okay, I got to get to some of these other questions because this is getting so long. Would you ever move to Florida? We have not ruled it out. Do you believe in Bigfoot? Bigfoot's actually one of the things that I haven't watched a documentary, Sasquatch. I heard it was pretty good. Bigfoot's like one of, I believe in aliens. I believe in Loch Ness Monster. I believe in fairies. I mean, why wouldn't I? No, but I really do. I believe in all kinds of things. Bigfoot's like the one that, I'm really not that interested in. And so I don't really have that much of interest. I still believe in Santa Claus. True story. I believe there's, a place in the North Pole. Why wouldn't you, So Bigfoot's kind of the one that I could really care less about, If you could revisit any memory and observe or live it again, what would it be? The day after our wedding, when all of our friends were at one pool at the Cosmopolitan and we were at a different pool at the Cosmopolitan, and Alex and I just spent the entire day together talking about our lives and things like that. It was also the day that I started growing out my beard. Okay, I got so many questions about this. The real story of Manny and Jeffree friendship ending. Okay, so I'm not going to get into the weeds with this, but I have hinted at this for so long. Everybody knows about it. Okay, I'm just going to tell you that. Everybody behind the scenes, everybody in the beauty industry knows it. And the reality is, if you guys really knew why Jeffree and Manny are no longer friends, the majority of there's probably 10 reasons, but the big reason, I think it would actually make you look at Jeffree Star in probably higher regard, if you want to know the truth. It was about a relationship that had occurred behind the scenes, and Manny felt one way about this relationship, and Jeffree felt another way about this relationship, and Jeffree did not understand why Manny didn't feel the way that he did about that. And that was kind of the severing tides, because Jeffree was like, I do not respect you. I don't respect you for not, this. Anyway, Jeffree didn't respect Manny. And I think it's interesting in the things that have come out since about Jeffree and things that have happened since then. It's probably, to be honest with you, in my 7 years of following beauty influencer drama, it's probably one moment in time that I have a lot of respect for Jeffree Star. The stuff that came out, and to be honest with you, I don't really know why Jeffree never came out and explained what happened. I don't know. I think out of protectiveness for other people, there's a lot of people that are involved in this story. I think that's part of it. But I will say this, that if Jeffree were to get on video and say, this is why our friendship ended, it would make Jeffree look better. The fact that those of us that know behind the scenes why Jeffree is no longer friends with him and that he doesn't speak about it makes it look even better. It makes me respect Jeffree Star a little bit. It's like one of the good things that I think he's really done, and whatever. But when he comes out and he talks about, I built these people's careers and I did that. That's true. He did all these videos with Manny, and, Manny, kind of rode his coattails. Manny's ridden the coattails of everybody. Manny wouldn't be anybody if it wasn't for he wouldn't. And I don't care what anybody says. And Manny is somebody that, Manny has supported so many of the wrong people, but it's hard for me because, I liked Manny for so long. I really, really did. I think people think I hate Manny now. It's not how I feel at all, there's always going to be a soft place in my heart for Manny. But, Manny did what everybody was doing back then. Collabs with people, did this. Shane Dawson did the same thing. Shane Dawson would spot somebody on the up and coming, and he would do a collab video with them immediately. And that was something Trisha Paytas told me years ago, that Shane Dawson watched all the up and coming people and whatever. I remember getting a DM. I think it was the very first DM I ever got from Shane Dawson before we started texting each other, and he was like, you're getting 1 million views a month. I hope you're monetizing your videos because you could be making a lot of money off this and whatever. I was like, how does he even know who I am? Like, he's watching all of us so closely. And then when I sat down and talked to Jeffree Star, and he was asking me about, I mean, Rich Lux, this is before he knew him, Karina Kaboom, and I mean, he knew drama channels that literally had like 1,000 followers. I mean, this was years ago, right? But he was asking me about these people, and I'm like, and at that time, I honestly thought he was going to do a video about the drama community, and maybe that was on his radar at some point, because he knew everything about the drama communities, except for that Trisha had told me that he watches people's numbers very, very closely, everybody's numbers. And so I guess it didn't kind of surprise me, but that was it was over a friendship. Jeffree and Manny's friendship ended over a friendship, is what it was about. And does it surprise me today that Manny MUA sticks up for the wrong people? No, absolutely not. I think he's proven that over time, and I think Jeffree knows that. And I think that's why Jeffree's never come out and talked about it. Number one, Jeffree Star is somebody that does really nice things and never shouts them out. He's donated tons of money to people. He's done it at times and whatever, but there have been moments of Jeffree Star's career, and this is just me being 100% honest, there have been moments of Jeffree Star's career where he has done really, really great things and never brought any attention to it. And that was, to me, one of the moments. And I think other people have kind of hinted at that in drama videos as well. I want to know what everybody says about Raw Beauty Christie behind the scenes. People say about Raw Beauty Christie behind the scenes that, I mean, it's nothing that I think is, this is the thing, okay? It's nothing that I think is bad about, okay, Raw Beauty Christie is somebody that paints a perfect picture of herself, right? These other people, you wouldn't be surprised by Laura or Michaela Noguera or whatever, you know, taking a sponsorship or being focused on money or it all being about the money. Nobody would be surprised by that. But because of Raw Beauty Christie having built her career in a different way, I think people are surprised by that. That she's constantly talking numbers and money behind the scenes and things like that. And that's really what a lot of people talk about. That Christie is very consumed with the money and the numbers and the sponsorships and who's doing better than her and things like that. You can hear it in her videos. I went back and watched her videos, and she's like, well, I mean, I'm not flying in private jets and wearing Gucci every day. I mean, there's a bit of a bitterness about her that you can kind of tell if you know that those are the conversations. And I have to tell you, I have been reached out to so many people that have gone on brand trips with her, that so many people that knew her behind the scenes that say the same thing, that all Christie talks about behind the scenes is money. So, I don't know. Maybe that's why she doesn't come out and talk about James Charles. Let's see. What time is it? It's hammer time. It's time to do the percolator. It's time for the percolator. Remember I used to sing that all the time? I'm trying to get the good ones. If you could have dinner with one person living in her past, who would it be? I would have dinner with my mom one more time. What was allegedly on the James Charles voice notes? Okay, so what was allegedly on the James Charles voice notes? If you go back and you watch a video, No More Lies, James Charles, and I believe Dustin Daly actually has said this in several videos, James Charles says in the No More Lies videos what's on the voice notes. He says somebody's going to come out and they're going to say something. That's what's on the voice notes. What's interesting to me about this, and this was one of the questions I did see and I was thinking about it, the fact that Jeffree Star has the voice notes doesn't make sense. So, the reason why I believe Jeffree Star has never come out with the voice notes, okay? The voice notes are about somebody doing something inappropriate, okay? Or James Charles doing something inappropriate. That's what it's about, okay? The reason why I think the voice notes never came out is because I don't think Jeffree Star initially had the voice notes. I think Shane Dawson initially had the voice notes, and I'm speculating, this is allegedly, that Shane Dawson sent the voice notes to Jeffree Star. Because when you know the full story, it doesn't make sense that Jeffree would have been contacted, but it does make sense that Shane Dawson would be contacted. So, Shane had to have been the one that had the voice notes that got, because the voice notes is a voice message. Somebody left this person a message, right? And then I think that Shane sent it to Jeffree, because this was the middle of the time of Jeffree being very consumed with numbers, them wanting to bring down James Charles and all this kind of stuff. And I think that they thought this was the nail in the coffin, which it would have been at that time. I don't think today anybody would be surprised or even really care, if you want to know the truth. I mean, I think some people would. But I think that's why Jeffree never came out with it, because I think Jeffree knew this wasn't sent to me, this was by Shane, and if it ever comes out, then it's going to implicate Shane. But now, I mean, I don't know why they don't just, I don't know why Jeffree doesn't talk about it now. If it were me, and I was Jeffree, I mean, what's he got to lose at this point, you know? So, and I think it even goes to show more to the credibility of the allegations against James Charles. The worry about it was they never wanted to ruin somebody's reputation, and I understand that. And they didn't want to be brought into it and things like that. I get that, right? Just go look at what happened at that time. It's very obvious what happened. And the obviousness is led by Shane Dawson and Jeffree Star. They wanted people to know. They put out hints. The hints are right in front of your face. And then you go watch a No More Lies video like Dustin says, it's right there. Everybody can figure it out. It's right there, you know? Let's see. Which one of your YouTube channels is your favorite and why? I mean, I love all of them for different reasons. My vlog is probably my heartstone, you know, where I just share everything that's going on in my life and everything like that. It's the hardest one for me, like, if I'm going to take a day off, like, it's the hardest one for me not to film on. Like, I'm like, at least I can do a vlog today. But I love them all for different reasons, you know. I will say, like, most people, like, reach out to me about my review channel, which is kind of interesting, or my Peterisms channel, because those are, like, two of my smallest channels, you know. So I think that's kind of interesting, but I'm having a lot of fun with my BookTube channel again, because I've been posting over there a lot. Predictions on Jaclyn Hill's move and how it affects her career. I did a whole video about that. Do you see another Dramageddon in the future? I don't. I did for a while. I don't. I just don't think people have that investment in the beauty industry anymore. What influencer is the one who asked you to not make videos about them? Okay, I got that one, and then somebody asked me if I thought that, if somebody asked me, where was it at, about Toddy. They said, did Toddy ask you not to make videos about you? Or about her? Where's the question? Let me see. I could do another video. I got so many more questions I didn't even get to. Well, I'll end on this one. Toddy has never reached out to me and asked me not to make videos on her. Toddy reached out to me and asked me not to make a specific video about her. The video that she asked me to not make about her, I didn't even know what she was talking to me about. I had seen, like, some people talk about it online. I had no clue. And to this day, in all honesty, I have no idea why she was worried about that video coming out. I've never looked into it. It's so off the radar of anybody talking about. I don't know if maybe it had something to do with if a video was made about it, it come out in the court trial or something. That's the only time she's ever asked me to not make a video about her. She's never said, please don't make videos about me. She's never said that to me. I know she unfollowed me and things like that. And that video I never made about her, and I will never make about her because she asked me to do it. The person that asked me to stop making videos about them was Shannon Rose, and this is the one and only video I will probably mention it. I mean, maybe I will again in the future. I don't think she really cares. I think we're good today. I don't really look into the life of Shannon Rose today, but she asked me not to make videos about her, and she explained to me why. I want to make this very, very clear. I've said this in videos. If somebody reached out to me tomorrow, like if Jeffree Star reached out to me tomorrow and said, please don't make videos about me tomorrow, that would not be enough for me, okay? If Jeffree Star reached out to me tomorrow and said, please do not make videos about me anymore. Jeffree said to me in the past I was hurting his business, okay? Jeffree Star was somebody that had 16 million subscribers. I was getting like 10,000 views a video. I was not hurting his business. But he said drama channels were hurting his business. He didn't say me. But if somebody reached out to me and said, your videos are bringing me, there's, you know, this or that, or you're causing me a lot of stress or whatever, like, I would stop making videos about that person. But she's the one and only in 7.5 years of making videos that has ever reached out to me and asked me to not make videos about her, and I've respected that. So, Let me see one last question. One last question. Maybe I'll come back and do another one. Somebody asked me, was it hard to quit smoking cigarettes after getting sober? I never said I quit smoking cigarettes. In fact, in my last Q&A that I did, I said, somebody asked me if I still smoke, and I said, yes, I do. From time to time, I still smoke, and I still vape from time to time. Not marijuana vapes, nicotine vapes. So, no. I don't know how hard it is to quit smoking after getting sober. I'm sure probably pretty hard. Let me see. I feel like a lot of people ask questions that they already know the answers to, and they just want to, like... has the age gap between you and your husband ever been, not this question, but like some people ask these questions, I'm like, what are you trying to get out of here? Has the age gap between you and your husband ever been an issue? How have you guys handled it? You know, it's interesting because the age gap between my husband and I is 12 years. It's really not that long anymore. You know, I see a lot of couples that have a lot bigger age gaps than we do. And, so no, it's not that big of an age gap. You know, my dad and my stepmom, the age gap is, I think, like 20 years. And they've been married for a very, very long time. A very long time, and it's worked for them. And I know a lot of people that have big age gaps that have been together for long periods of time. That never really caused a problem. Cultural differences of how we were raised caused problems. Because like the music and the TV shows and the cartoons and stuff that I would reference that I grew up with were not the ones that Alex grew up with. But the age difference has really never been a problem whatsoever. So, you know. Oh my God, my battery like died. Like not just stop at the 30-minute mark. Like it like died. I had to go downstairs and get another battery. Okay. What I was saying about the thing is, the age gap is, no, the age gap hasn't really ever caused a problem. You know, it's just like the cultural differences, because my husband grew up in Venezuela. He moved here when he was 12. So when I mention things, I mean, maybe that's a little bit like, I mean, I grew up with like the Rumors album by Fleetwood Mac, or, you know, I'll talk about Stevie Nicks, and he's like, you know, like, he knows Stevie Nicks now, obviously, but like when we were first together, or like I'll say, you know, I'll reference a TV show like Love Boat. I mean, he knows all the references now. I mean, after being together 15 years. But the thing is that like a lot of those shows that he grew up in, or a lot of like the, what was the movie? They made a horror movie about it. The La Llorona or whatever, about the woman from the lake. I mean, like, Alex, like, believed that when he was growing up. Like, he's like, oh no, that's, like, serious, like, where I grew up. And I can remember I watched it, and then he watched it, or something like that, and he was, like, so scared. I thought it was so stupid. I was like, why are you scared of this? He's like, we grew up with this. So it's stuff like that, but that's the stuff that makes it fun, too, you know, and getting to know each other, and things like that. The age gap really hasn't been that big of a difference. I think, like, one of my fears as I get older, you know, is that, like, going to music festivals, it's something that we love doing together. This year, I will say, was so much easier for me because I had lost a lot of weight and I wore really comfortable shoes, and so it was a lot easier. I danced 7 hours on Saturday, 7 hours on Sunday. Friday night, I think it was like 4 hours before it got rained out, and I was able to keep up better than I was probably even 5 years ago, you know? So, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of people at, like, Ultra Music Festival that are, like, 10, 15 years older than me, so I'm like, well, I guess I got another 10 or 15 years. That's the only thing, is that, like, if there's things I really want to do with my husband, I'm like, I need to do them now before it, like, you know, like I get so old that I can't do it. But we're none of us promised, you know, tomorrow, so enjoy your life the best you can, right? I think the other thing was that when both of us got into the relationship, neither one of us were really looking for a relationship. So it was just fun from the beginning, you know, like, I'm obviously somebody that falls in love very quickly, and I did. But, like, it wasn't, like, the first date and stuff like that. It wasn't, we didn't go on the date, like, I didn't think I was going to end up marrying him. You know, it's interesting because we knew so many couples at the time that we got together that, I mean, we were not the couple that was supposed to make it. We were not the couple that was supposed to be around past 6 months or a year. It was all just fun, you know? And here we are 15 years later, and we have friends of ours that have been married and divorced 2 and 3 times, you know, have kids, you know, other couples that have been together, moved states, moved back to, I mean, it's just, we have so many friends of ours that, like, have been in and out of relationships 4 and 5 times, and we're still here 15 years later, and we were not the couple that anybody thought was going to make it at all, including ourselves. So, you know, it's interesting. let me see. Somebody asked me who's the rudest celebrity I've ever met. I mean, like, at the time, nobody's, like, really that rude. I was trying to think about this. Well, I mentioned in a video not too long ago that John Green, but then that, like, exploded into a huge thing. So, but I've met, like, I've attempted to meet John Green several times. Jay Leno, years and years and years ago at Fridays, I think I was still drinking. He was pretty rude. If your mom was here today, do you think she would like to be in any of your videos? My mom would be very apprehensive about it, but at the same time, very intrigued by it. Like, I can kind of imagine her on video. She would get a kick out of it. She would get a kick out of the questions. I mean, she would, like, look at somebody and she would be like, now, who is that asked that? Kendall asked that question? Oh, hi. Do I know Kendall? How do I know? I mean, she would get a kick out of it. My mom would love it. But then she would want to have, like, real deep, serious conversations, too, like I do. So, I know this is so long. I'm going to see if I can get, like, one really good drama to end on. Favorite set at Ultra 24. Favorite set. I think Martin Garrix, actually, was my favorite set this year. God, here's see another one. What happened with Manny, Laura, and Jeffree? Worst YouTuber interaction in real life. Okay, Trisha Paytas was super, super nice to me when I met her. Amelia Fart was very nice, very real. Psychic Twins. Thomas Halbert was unbelievably nice. Who else did I meet on that trip to LA? Oh, Loie Lane was fantastic. She was so nice. A lot of people I've talked to on the phone have been really, really nice. Amy Slayton has been fantastic. I love Amy. Amy is, like, the real deal. Like, what you see on TV is, like, how she really is. Amberlynn Reed was always very nice. Very snarky, but very nice. You know, very just you know, like, do you care if I make this video? I don't care if you make that video because everybody's going to hate me anyway. I mean, what you see is what you get with Amberlynn Reed, kind of. Except that I feel like she acts like she doesn't. Well, and that's a whole other video. Rudest interaction, YouTuber interaction I've ever made. Well, like, in retrospect, like, you know, at the time that I met Shane and Ryland and Garrett and Andrew, they were all super, super nice. Garrett was, like, off, like, going to get coffee. He was, like, hitting on somebody that worked at the coffee shop, and he was, like, coming back and telling us he thought this guy was cute, and then went back, and it was at the Starbucks at the Cosmopolitan. We were sitting in the bar. Ryland was, like, laying on the floor and, like, on his phone. Andrew and like, my husband was, like, sitting on the couch, just, like, looking through his phone. Andrew and Shane and I were having, like, an intense conversation. I think what hurts me about that now is that when I found out that, and you talk about voice notes, when I heard the voice notes of what Shane Dawson had said about me years later, that was literally, like, 2 weeks before I met him, which he was the one that initiated that meeting. I did not initiate that meeting. He reached out to me and asked me if we wanted to meet, because a lot of people at that time were like, oh, you're both in Vegas, you guys should meet up. I didn't ask him to meet. He was very nice. They all came and flipped fans, and they were very, very, I mean, the whole meeting was very, very nice. In retrospect, to know that he was saying such horrible shit about me behind the scenes, and not only to me, but to several people, or not just to one person that I heard it from, but now I know several people. What I know, and at that time, you have to remember, was the same conversation when I asked him about Jake Paul. He said, it was this joke between he and Andrew, and he said, the thing about sociopaths is, and then they would both laugh, and I asked him about Tana Mojo, and he said, the thing about sociopaths is, and when I said something about Trisha Paytas saying that she was going to fly and she was going to meet us if she knew that we were both in Vegas, and he said she's a pathological liar. He goes, Trisha's a pathological liar. Don't trust anything that she says. When I know now that that's how he was talking to me, but he was talking about me to other people, what I know is that Shane Dawson is the biggest shit tuber. He's the biggest shit talker that has ever existed on YouTube. I really think the reason he had so many connections with people was because I don't think anybody really ever connected that he was talking about them, and until they did. And then everybody realized at the same time. And at that point was the cancellation of Shane Dawson. And nobody really came out at that point to say, well, Shane Dawson was shit-talking me and he was shit-talking you and all these other people. I think if you got 10 people in a room together and all those people said what Shane Dawson said about them behind there, I think you would be mesmerized. I think Shane Dawson is the biggest shit-talker on YouTube. So when people want to ask me why I don't respect Shane Dawson today, that's why I don't respect Shane Dawson. I get on video and I say what I have to say. And I can tell you right now, and any drama channel that I've talked to will tell you the same thing, okay? When I'm talking to drama channels behind the scenes about something's going on, ain't no different than what I say on a video, okay? But Shane Dawson wants to get in video and act like he likes somebody and then be talking shit about them behind their backs, like Trisha Paytas, like Jeffree Star, like Gabby Hanna, like all these people. But be talking mad shit about them behind their back. He's a phony. Shane Dawson's the biggest phony that I've ever met. So that's why I don't respect him. So in retrospect, at the time it was really nice, but it was all fake. Why even meet with me, you know? Or were you just trying to get information out there? Because he was bombarding me with questions on what I knew about every drama channel out there. This video needs to be over because the tripod fell. This is batteries changed, batteries ending, tripod falling. Anyway, you know, in retrospect, the Shane Dawson interaction, it wasn't rude at the time, but now knowing what I know and how he was just shit-talking me behind my back to other people, to other drama channels, to other YouTubers, but then at the same time, like, trying to get intel and information about like everybody. I mean, he was using me. His meeting with me was using me to get information about people so that he knew who to interact with and who not to, that who to waste his time on and who not to waste. I mean, it just was a scam, you know? And so, I don't know. And I went into that. I mean, I even filmed a video up after that. It was one of the greatest days of my life. I got to meet Shane Dawson, somebody I had covered about in videos, you know, that kind of stuff. I remember, like, right after that, it was interesting because he had asked me at that time about Karina Kaboom, who Karina and I weren't getting along at that time, and I don't even think she was making drama videos anymore. And I said something about, he asked me, and I said, oh, I've never talked to Karina. I don't think I had talked to her. Anyway, at that time I hadn't talked to her. And, something like that. I didn't really talk about her much at all. And he was like, well, you guys don't really get along well, do you? And I go, we don't not get along. We don't have any kind of relationship whatsoever. I said, but you know, this was like way back in the day. I was like, we have kind of like this back and forth kind of thing. She doesn't even do drama videos like that anymore, right? And so she said, and so like a week later, he like put out this tweet and he was like, we stand Karina Kaboom in this house. And I was like, this is so weird that you literally were just quizzing me about Karina Kaboom. And then you put out this tweet that says like, we stand Karina Kaboom in this house. Like, you were literally dogging her to me, trying to get me to say shit about Karina Kaboom. And I'm not stupid, so I was watching everything that I said. And you were trying to get me to say, I mean, you were like, oh, but you don't really like her, do you? Like, you know, she's problems and whatever. And I said, she's another, you know, I didn't say really a whole lot. And then he posted, we stand Karina Kaboom. I was like, this is so like... Shane Dawson is one of the most calculated people I've ever met. The fact that he can't calculate himself out of his own self-imposed cancellation is crazy to me. The fact that he can't come out and reinvent himself, I have given so many examples. He could get on video and he could talk about, you know, the past versus now and whatever. He either doesn't have the energy to do it anymore or he lacks the creativity. And if that's the case, then he never really was that creative to begin with, you know. I think it makes me sad because I think he has a following of people that absolutely love him, you know. But I think that Shane Dawson is probably the rudest celebrity or rudest YouTuber I've ever met. In retrospect, at the time he was very, very nice. When I found out later that at that time that he met me, he was talking mad shit about me behind my back. I mean, why do you even do that? Why would you meet with somebody? I wouldn't, you know. I mean, unless that person wanted to talk to me about what I was saying, you know. I can tell you right now, had I known at that time, I think it's rather ballsy of him, honestly. Because if he had known, he must have trusted the people. See, this is where Shane Dawson had all these people, like, you know, on speed dial that he was like, you know, this person would never betray Shane Dawson because they were at the top of their game, right? And this is where power is very important when it comes into this, because none of these people would betray him. As soon as Shane Dawson started falling, those people reached out to me and were like, just want you to know what Shane Dawson used to say about you behind your back, right? I'm like, okay, like at that time, right? But he went into that meeting with me. I mean, how ballsy is this to think that there was no way, because he had to have known, because I would have, had I known that, all the things he was saying about me, I would have confronted him. I would have looked at him and said, well, first of all, before you sit down for your scotch and soda, let's sit here and talk about all this mad shit that you've been talking about me, okay? Because I'm not some 20-year-old kid anymore that's going to sit there and take this shit and fawn all over you, all right? Like, you've been saying some mad shit about me, so let's get to the bottom of it and let's talk about it. He had to have had a lot of balls to walk into that meeting thinking that I didn't know that. But the reason he did was because he had all these people that he knew that weren't going to betray him. But they all reached out to me as soon as the cancellation of Shane Dawson began. Which isn't even a cancellation because he still owns 2 homes and puts out a video whenever he wants to. So he's not canceled at all. He made a shit ton of money off that pallet. He acts like he didn't make anything off of it. What did he put into that to make all that money off that pallet, you know? He made a lot of money off that pallet. He has a lot of money. He'd never have to work another day in his life, right? But he was probably the rudest interaction I had. So should I end this with one more question, since this is now like the 2-hour Q&A? I was going to follow up and do another one, but I'm not going to do that. Okay, let's get one more question. Some of these questions are good. Asking about Boo Radley. What the hell is the secret with Jeffree Star? Why did Manny and Jeffree end their friendship? My God. Some of these questions. How's your sex life? Good. I mean, we were just on vacation. You know what I mean? Do you think the pool will open early? I can only hope. I can only hope. Oh my God, another question. Do you think the pool will open early? New shows you want to watch. Apples May Fall. I really, really want to watch. I'm like, should I end this on like a really drama-filled question, or should I not? Somebody said, regarding your drama channel, do you wish you've done something differently? You know, there have been times on my drama channel that I wish that I did the Kate Middleton video the other day. People brought it up to me. They, whatever. I took the video down. I don't have a problem doing that. You know what I mean? I think after this many years on video across 7 different channels at different times, I live out loud. I share what's going on. I've learned a lot by what I've gone through online, you know? I've had ups. I've had downs. I've had really embarrassing moments. I think probably one of my worst moments ever on YouTube was the live stream that I did when Paige Christie interacted with me, and it was just... it just was not a good moment. I was filled with anger and, whatnot. And that was a big source of me, like being able to watch that was a big source of me being able to take that to my therapist and my sponsor and working specifically on that and not wanting to be that person. And then years later, for Paige and I to be able to work that through and for her to say to me, I think we're both growing up, like we've grown up a lot and we're different people than we are now, and she's got kids, and, our anniversary is the same day, and, and I consider Paige a friend today. Like, that's growth, right? Back in the day, people were like, why don't you guys settle this stuff off behind the scenes? Why do you sell this online? And we try to settle it online and people go crazy and they live for the drama of it. And then we settle it offline and people are like, why don't you talk about it online? And it's all been a growing up experience. And that's one of those moments in my life that I got to see the full, all the way through to it. And I'm so grateful for, Paige today. And she's just one example of many relationships that have fallen apart and been mended through the years. And I'm so grateful for her, and you know, I went into the new year several years ago with 3 people that, this was like 5 years ago, with 3 people that I really wanted to make amends to, and Paige was one of those people. It was Paige, and it was Dustin Daly, and it was Sam from Here for the Tea, and I was able to talk to each of those people, and they were willing to listen to my amends. And equally offered me amends, which I didn't expect, you know? And we had fantastic conversations at that time. And, you know, and I'm really grateful for that today. I'm really grateful that I'm able to grow and learn. It hasn't just been about talking about Jeffree Star or Manny or James Charles or Trisha Paytas or whoever online, Shane Dawson or, you know, whoever. It's been about being able to take those experiences of what I've had online and been able to grow through it. You know, I wish I had done something different? I wish I had started true crime like 4 years ago. It's something that I'm like really, really obsessed with, and I wish I had started it earlier, but it's never too late, and this channel is going to change a lot in the next year, and I'm going to continue to do drama and continue to do those videos, but I have a lot of exciting videos as well. And I think that's the thing that somebody asked me earlier about what I'm most grateful for. I'm so grateful that I get to get up every single day and do something that I absolutely love on this channel. It's so fun, and I live for it, and it's liberating. And, you know, somebody asked me in here, they said, it was just solid. Has your audience ever done anything that disappointed you? I don't think so. You know, it's, I'm grateful. I mean, you guys give me this most incredible life, you know, and thank you for that. So anyway, all right, gonna get off here now. I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.